Welcome to Thank God You're Not My Child. It's a comedy podcast where I talk about what I want to talk about. It could be kids, it could be Karens, it could be anybody that possibly could be my kid. You know. So let's get going. Yeah, it's a big one. It's been a holiday week and between uh, Wednesday, between uh, Christmas and New Year's, and being empty nesters, and my kids are 6 hours and probably 10 hours from me, and I didn't get to see my kids for Christmas, and it can bring some really good memories thinking about the Christmas of the past. You just don't like to think about not having them anymore. But let's just discuss some of that. Those Thanksgivings and Easter and any of these holidays, Christmas, New Year's, that you work so hard to try to get it just to be a magical day for your family. Um, I'm not really talking about moms or dads, probably both, because I would like to think in a world where it was great, dads do just as much. But I'm just going to say as moms. So go with me. If you're a dad, hopefully you do just as much. I'm not going to get on that shit soapbox because that's my shit soapbox. Say that 5 times. Okay, you got it. You anyway, you plan so much for your kids. Uh, Christmas, you buy gifts, you wrap them. I was like, what's Santa gonna get them? And I don't think we ever went overhand, with the gifts. But you always had that Christmas magic where you stayed up late after they went to sleep, even when they were teenagers. Didn't matter how old they were. If they lived at home, you wanted to fill that stocking after they went to sleep. And the older they get, the later it gets. So just remember that. If you're a morning person and you like to go to sleep early, just set your damn alarm. Just set your damn alarm for like 3 a.m. to get up and stick that stocking because the stocking because those teenagers start staying up really late, if you know what I mean. Well, you do that. You do that so many years. And I think when you're in the process of doing that, you never you never really think, oh, one day this is gonna be gone. No, because they're your kids. God willing, we're gonna have them forever. That. I mean, I pray I go before my kids do. So we're just gonna leave it at that. But you know, it's not gone. I still have my kids. My kids just live far away, and it just doesn't always work out where I can see them on those holidays. And it's hard. It's hard. Let's just admit it. Um, with so many years in daycare, them not having my kids, it made it a little easier because I had kids to watch. They decorated the trees and they were happy. You bought them, little things or made cookies with them and they were happy. I didn't have my kids, but I had great. I didn't have my kids, but I had daycare, and it really brought a lot of the spirit there that I didn't really get real sad. Well, and then I still lived fairly close. I could at least see my daughter and my granddaughters. But now that I've moved into Oklahoma on the mountain, I don't get to see my daughter like I used to. She's 6 hours away. I try to plan to see her as much as I can, talk to her often. I definitely don't get to see my son because he's all the way in Minnesota. And we've hit the point where I'm sure in the hell ain't driving to Minnesota because I know what happens in Minnesota. And I love my son, but I ain't driving to Minnesota. You know what I mean? So now I have my fiance that hopefully in 2024 we're going to get married in the mountains of Alaska. I think's where we're going. We're eloping, so nothing major, but that's going to be a blast. I've never been there, and he's from there. So I get to meet his sister that lives in Anchorage, and mountains he used to climb and rivers he's fished in and swam in. It's going to be a great time. Anyway, I got off track. Your kids. We do so much for our kids that when all of a sudden they're moved away and you get to the point where you don't have them at holidays, you feel lost. I really felt lost after I divorced when I was 50, because at least I had my husband before that. And then 3 years of only me, I had to do something. I could not sit around for Christmas realizing that I'm completely alone. I had friends, but they had families too. And when you've got a friend that has a family, I ain't going to step in there, even if they're a best friend. I'm not going to step in there on their family day. I just can't do it. So the first Christmas was just horrible. I think I cried most of it. I did get to see my daughter and granddaughter. That was before my second granddaughter was born. I did get to see them before Christmas. So, I set that up, but I don't want to intrude on their Christmas because they are making their traditions. They don't need to include Gigi their Christmas morning. It just doesn't need to, no matter my feelings or not. And you might disagree, but fuck it. I don't really care. I don't want my daughter to ever have to have Gigi there on Christmas morning or choose which house to go to. She needs to do what she needs to do. And there's no reason to get fucked up about that. So, you just got to think about it. But last Christmas, I knew that would be 2022. I knew I'd already seen my daughter. I wasn't going to see anybody else. And so my mom and I went on a cruise, a 5-day cruise on Christmas Day. And it was such a blessing, not only to spend it with my mom, because she's 75 years old. And, she's went through cancer twice. And you have to, if you've still got your mom or your daddy around, you need to just love them. Just tell them you love them no matter what. You don't have to be involved with them if they were like fucked up. But just let them know that, forgiving somebody doesn't mean that you have to still have them in your life. Remember? But I spent a whole week with my mother on a cruise ship. And we had a blast. Memories that will last forever. And that's not something I would have normally done, because you don't do that on Christmas. You're with your kids. You know what? When you're an empty nester, you might need to twist some stuff up. And it's okay. This year, I wasn't going to get to see... I did get to see my son from Minnesota in October. His dad got married. Congratulations, he's remarried. I'm very happy for them. Live on. What would you say? May the odds ever be in your favor, because you only want the best for them. I got to see my son and have meals with my son and my daughter and my daughter and son-in-law and the grandkids, and it was great. I did not go to the wedding because who wants to celebrate that? Actually, I wasn't invited, but that's okay. I was in town. I got to see my kids, and it was wonderful. It was better than almost any Christmas. I had quite a few times I got to have meals with my kids. I got to see my son work at Bass Pro. He works for Black Rifle Coffee Company, and he's like their online guru thing. He has a Facebook page that is Spearhead Black Rifle Coffee Company. Go check it out. And if you join the group, tell him his mama sent you. But I got to see him work with people. I didn't know these people. And he's talked to some of these people on that Facebook page. And it was so cool to see him work. So, that was my Christmas. That was my Christmas. Any day can be Christmas. It's not just one day of the year. You just got to take those memories in. And those are the memories you remember on Christmas when you can't see your kids. Or on Thanksgiving when you can't see your kids or your parents. Or, because when you're far from them, it just doesn't work out. And it's okay. It's okay. So this year, well, I'll go back a little while. Years ago, when the kids got older, I set up minute to win at Christmas games, and we played probably for 4 or 5 years, and it got to be to where we were inviting daycare parents and other friends, and it was such a blast. And I've missed that, and I'm not going to have that this year with my kids. But guess what? I have 2 bonus sons that are coming, and I'm getting married this year. I'll have 2 bonus sons and 2 bonus daughter-in-laws. And I'm just telling you, if you meet if you meet my daughter, and I have a daughter-in-law, Amanda, daughter-in-law, future daughter-in-law, Katrina, and a future daughter-in-law, Taylor. If you meet us in the alleyway, you might want to just fucking back off, because I got some badass daughters and daughter-in-laws. You know, yeah, I had nothing to do with those daughter-in-laws, but they're badass. So I set up. I wanted to, and they'd never done it, so I talked them into it. We had to go meet them 3 hours away, and we got a suite big enough for us all to play games in, and we had the best time. So good that we're going to do it next year. And one day here on the mountain, we might have a house big enough everybody can come stay here, maybe even my kids one day, and we can play minute to win it games and just have a blast. But I did get to have, the weekend before, I did get to have minute to win it Christmas with my future bonus sons and their families. And we stayed here Christmas because my future in-laws live right by us, and they're 84 years old, I believe. And you know what? I needed to be with them more than I needed to be with anybody. Because at 84, they have their son living close, and I love them to death. They're already calling me his wife. They've really accepted me. But you know what? That's what we needed. Because I cannot have my future in-laws that are 84 years old completely alone on a holiday. I just can't do it. And, I could have went and seen my daughter. And I mean, if I wanted to, I could go see my son. But you know what? I couldn't do it. And we had a great time. Are you ready for this? I never said I couldn't cook. I said I don't like to cook. But Christmas morning, when my kids were little, was we always did big breakfast. And the one thing I liked to do when I would do it was chocolate gravy. Have you ever had chocolate gravy? Oh, nice biscuits, big old biscuits. Anyway, I fixed that, and we all had like a brunch together. We don't really buy a lot of presents, so we gave them, I gave him, he does instant coffee. Don't come at me. Don't come at me, my son Justin. Don't come at me. But the good news is, Black Rifle Coffee, they do make black instant coffee. So I was able to get him some so he could at least try it, because he's been asking. And I got my future mother-in-law, I got her this nice little peacock cup. I really didn't get it. I was given to it, and she eyeballed it, and I'm sorry, Dawn, but she just said that was the most beautiful thing she ever said. So I washed that baby up and gave her that with some 100% juice she liked and some chocolate-covered sunflowers. Yes, that's what she liked. They loved it. And I will tell you this, when you think twice about what you're giving your kids for Christmas, remember, sometimes the simple things are what they remember. We don't want to think that. We want to think they're going to remember the big things, but sometimes the simple things are the memories. We also found, my in-laws just recently got this puppy. I don't even know what kind it is, but it's stinking cute. And so we found one of those puppies you could take the inside out and heat or freeze, so if you need warm or not. And it's a little stuffed animal. It looked just like their new dog, Wolfie. His dad named it Wolf. I added the E, Wolfie. And it was just the cutest little thing, and we didn't spend much on it. But I'm going to tell you this. Hold on. I was thinking. That wasn't a sneeze. When we gave her that puppy and showed her what it was, she hugged that puppy. And she said she just loved it, that it would never grow like the puppy, Wolfie. And it was so cute. But then she said something that I just have a hard time believing. She's 84. And she looks at that puppy and looks at me and Evan and says, I've never had a toy like this that I can ever remember. She never got a stuffed animal when she was little. She never got anything like that when she was little. They just didn't do that. That was a long time ago. You were lucky to have food on your table. And that $14, I think, $13.99 or whatever animal that we bought at Ross that looked like Wolfie. I'm never going to forget that toy. That toy that I thought, well, yeah, it looks like Wolfie. She'd like it. Let's get it. Yeah. I'm telling you, people. Granny Roo never had a stuffed animal when she was little. And so we bought her one. And she hugged it. And I swear you could see her being a 3-year-old little girl hugging a stuffed animal. So, you know, that right there, that's what you need to remember when you give your kids a toy. You know? And remember, it's never too late to give somebody a stuffed animal. Never too late. You know? Just make it thoughtful and make it be about them. Hold on. Okay. Sorry, I needed a little break after that one. I'm never going to forget that moment as long as I live. So, so to finish up, if you're empty nesters and you don't get to see your kids on Christmas Day, make new traditions. Go on the cruise. Go to the cabin. Stay home and eat what you want and make what you want. Let your kids know you're living now. And if they need to be alone on Christmas Day with their kids, let them. Because you can see them the day before, or you can see them the day after, or if you're close, you can see them that night. Whatever they need to do, you know? Because in the long run, I'm a mom, yet my daughter's a mom. And I need to back up what she wants to do. And whatever she wants to do as traditions, I am happy with. Whether they include me or not, because she knows I'm Gigi, and I got her back, and that's all that matters. So yeah, I don't know if this one was really a funny one or not. I probably should have said, warning, warning, warning. Thought I might cry on this one. Okay, so anyway, start those new traditions. Minute to Win It here. You can go on TikTok or Google and find many Minute to Win It Christmas games, and they're not expensive. Chocolate gravy. Hit me up in my DMs if you need to know how to make it. It's actually extremely easy. Okay, so I've already told you more than I know. So until next time, thank God you're not my child.